My name is Lauren Haynes. This presentation is for Global History 2, taught by Professor Franke. My presentation is based on my research paper topic regarding women amid World War II, perspectives from the Allied and Axis powers. Before the 1900s, equality did not exist between men and women, leading to women constantly fighting for their rights. The 20th century has had a lot of impact on women's history, including events such as World War II. Women from the countries a part of the Allies and Axis powers joined the war in a variety of ways. This presentation reflects on how they lived before the war and how it affected their lives during and after. World War II took place globally across multiple continents, but the women mentioned came from countries including the United States, Germany, Soviet Union, and Japan. World War II began on September 1, 1939, and concluded 6 years later on September 2, 1945. Before World War II, women were often at home taking care of their families as their husbands worked for an income. This was common within many countries due to a lack of women's rights that did not allow them to obtain an education, for example. Women began joining the war to fight for their rights and diminish stereotypes. All quotes in this presentation are taken from the sources used in my research paper. Women in the 1920s began to be presented as flappers, more concerned with clothing and sex than with politics. Race, class, region, and ethnicity have significantly divided women in the 20th century. These quotes allow for an understanding of how women were recognized during this time. Women began joining the war when more people and resources were needed after all men were already called. Women being the solution to this issue opened up job opportunities that they never had before. Women around the world faced similar issues, such as mothers having a hard time when it came to finding people to look after their children. At the same time, there were also differences due to the countries that the women were from. For example, only women from the Soviet Union were allowed to serve combat roles. These quotes explain the different lives women lived based on the country they were from. In Germany, by 1945, women were holding approximately 85% of the once all-male billets as clericals, accountants, interpreters, laboratory workers, and administrative workers. By 1940, there had been great industrial expansion in Japan, but no break in the female pattern of working away from home only before marriage. The war led to a dramatic rise in the number of women working in the United States, from 10.8 million in March 1941 to more than 18 million in August 1944, reversing a downward trend attributed to the Depression. The image on the right is a graphic representation of labor force participation amongst white married women. A dramatic increase can be seen around 1940 when World War II began the inclusion of women. Due to the additional efforts made by women, the Axis powers surrendered, putting an end to the war. Many women did not receive the same benefits as men once the war was over, and the women that remained in the workplace either lost their job or were demoted once men returned to work. Participating in the war did not earn women equality or rights, but they gained confidence and skills to continue fighting to earn them. Women's education was also negatively affected in a way. 15.8% of women who were high school age during World War II reported completing their highest level of schooling after 1960. The image on the right shows the difference between men and women when it comes to the chance of obtaining an education around the time of World War II. World War II helped women in many ways, but despite their efforts, they did not receive as much credit as they deserved. The war made women want to fight more for rights and equality after proving that they could do what men do in their everyday lives. After centuries of unfairness and mistreatment, women knew that they needed to fight for themselves after fighting for their country. The women, especially from countries a part of the Allies, gave them the confidence to succeed with breaking stereotypes and being treated the way they should be treated. If World War II never occurred, the progression of treatment towards women and societal roles would have improved at a much slower pace, preventing aspects such as gender equality to not be as equal as it has become today. These are the sources used to write my research paper and create this presentation. Thank you for watching.